10 football time. This is Hoosier Faithful with Jason Simpson and Chase Simpson. Indiana heads into a tough matchup today, or Saturday. The Hoosiers look to build on recent momentum, while the Nittany Lions have had a rough go at it. So we're going to see what happens. We'll break down the key matchup players to watch and what Indiana needs to pull off the win, all coming up right here on the podcast. Let's get into it. So Indiana heads to Penn State. On film, I've been watching them, and they're still Penn State.
Yeah, they're still Penn State. They still have the threat level to make an upset Saturday. They still have the good players, just some bad coaching. That's the way we got to look at it.
Yeah, that's definitely a way we have to look at it. Statistically, we're looking at their total points per game is 30.8. Total points 246. Total touchdowns 30. First downs 156. Rushing first downs 77. Third down efficiency is 43.14. Fourth down is 12 for 21. Their completions to attempts is 145 to 227. Net passing yards 1443. Yards per game 6.4. Net passing yards per game is 180. 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, sacks, yards lost 11 against 76. That's something we'll talk about. The rushing game 279. Rushing yards 1,242. Rushing touchdowns 19. Rushing yards per game is 155.3. The thing that really gets me is they've had 8 fumbles lost, and the average yards per game is 249.
Well, this is the way we're going to have to look at it here. Penn State is down to their second or third string QB.
Second string.
They're on the second string?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so their rankings on offense is 99th, and the passing offense is 111th.
Right.
You know, their scoring offense is 37th in the country.
Yeah.
But I think
we're number 1 or 2.
Yeah, but that's just talking stats wise. But
right.
when we're looking at the true football game coming up on Saturday at noon, we're going to Penn State.
Right.
A very hard place to play. And guess what rank we are? Number 2.
Number 2. And
so the kids are going to come. They're going to make it loud.
Right.
You know.
Nothing better than to knock us off.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're looking at some. This is going to be another hard game. This is going to be another game where we're going to have to show up.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're just playing for, I don't know.
Funsies,
because, their record, I don't think they're even going to get a bowl game, which Penn State, just think about that. They might not even get into a bowl game, and they'd have to win out if they do. So, win-loss records 3-5. So they would really have to win their next 3 games to get into a bowl game. They might treat this like their bowl game. I mean, you're playing against Indiana, who's coming in, second in the country, best offense. I think the 3rd best defense ranked in the country. So they have a lot of talent there still. So they're going to want to they're going to come hard. I strongly think that.
Yeah, I strongly think that they're going to come in hard. They're going to play hard. They have a lot of people on their team that wants to win. And, if you stir up that and some confidence and key players get, there and the momentum gets driven, anything can happen. They have two really good running backs, a really solid front line. Nick Singleton and their other running back, Allen, both very fast. They were running over on Ohio State, finding the gap and hitting it hard, hitting the hole hard and running upfield like nothing. And this is, what they're saying with Ohio State being an elite defense. They were doing that to them. So why couldn't they do that to us?
Right.
So we just need to fill those gaps and get those together. We have this game that we should all be very nervous about. This is a game where we should be very nervous. You have to come in. They have to, play it good.
Yeah, they're going to have to play it. I think this is going to be a very tough game for Indiana on the matchups when you're looking at film. We're going to have to play a really good game, not have any turnovers, create turnovers. We're good at getting points off turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of our staple for defense. So I just...
Yeah, we definitely... Sorry, y'all. I'm over here looking at their schedule because we brought up their schedule.
Yeah.
So, Penn State still has Michigan State to go play at Michigan State. They have Nebraska at home. Yeah, they have Rutgers at Rutgers. So, I see one win against Michigan State.
Yeah.
And I see Nebraska being a tough game and Rutgers being a tough game for them. Back to Indiana's side, though. We're, like you said, we're going to have to capitalize on turnovers.
Yeah.
Filling the gaps, getting prime time for this game because this is huge for IU.
It is. It's a big game for IU. I mean, a lot of the national pundits want us to lose this game just so they can say, I told you so. We really have to come in confident. And Penn State's offense is kind of a crazy offense. I mean, you see linemen out in the wide receiver positions, a lot of screen passes out of that.
Yeah.
And they bulk up and put extra linemen in like a 3 tight end set to run the ball.
They play a spread offense, which is like high. So it's called in the football world. It's called a spread HD. It's called spread highly diverse.
Right.
So what they do. They utilize a lot of the RPO game like we do. They make the formations that can be designed to make mismatches, which we'll see how that rolls.
Right.
But like I said before, they have a really good running back, 2 really good running backs that could easily turn this game over on their side.
Right.
And this is where we need to stop it. We need to apply pressure like we did against UCLA, Oregon, all of them, and show them that, hey, we ain't here to play around. This is the time. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have to dominate the first 10 minutes of the game. We have to come out and dominate. We have to get that crowd out of the game. It's something that we have to do. So
Yeah, we have to get the crowd out. We got to stop them at the front, at the trenches. We're going to have to be forced to throw outside. Um, Listening in, I love that the internet's so good. And listening in, I heard they're going to throw a lot of bombs at us. They're going to throw a lot of long passes at us.
Yeah, I think they will do that too, and I think that one thing that we'll have to look at is our nickel defense. And Boykins come in and played great for us, in the nickel, and then the matchups on the outside. If I was a defensive coordinator, I almost go man against them with against Penn State because our cornerbacks can match up well.
I agree, but I disagree. I think we need to hold the middle. We need to hold the middle with our linebackers. We need to double up on a couple of their key players on the wide receiver position. We got to think here. Okay, and this is from stats, and anyone can hound me for this. The QB for Penn State, he's developing.
Yeah, he's a developing quarterback.
So, applying that pressure and getting under his skin, like, oh, I don't know where this, is coming from. Give him a couple good hits. It's got to throw him off.
Yeah,
he's not used to getting hit like that. So that's what we have to do.
So you think we're gonna go towards the man, double up on the corner safety?
I think we're gonna do what we're good at doing best.
Zone.
We're gonna play zone because again we got to think. All right, Penn State with that spread HD like we talked about, highly diverse. They run the RPO, misdirection, wildcat. They're gonna try to attempt to keep us off balance.
Right.
That's how they did Ohio State. Granted, Ohio State won that game.
Yeah.
But they kept their offense. Well, Ohio State's defense off balance because of that. It's going to be a lot of quick passes. This QB cannot throw it. Well, he can throw it far, but not as far as we're used to.
Right.
Okay? So this is definitely the time where our strong safety needs to talk to our, free safety. Free safety needs to talk to the quarterbacks on both sides of the field. This is what we're going to have to look at, And again, I cannot stress this enough. We need to have our linebackers ready and prepped for the RPO because I'm willing to bet that they're going to be running those double screens on both sides for the wide receivers. I mean, again, we're looking at a team that has potential to possibly upset Indiana right now. And I hate saying that.
Yeah.
But we need to be on our toes. This isn't going to be no walk in the park for us. This is the end of the year. This is what I said in the last podcast. This is when November gets fun.
November gets fun. We'll have to really dominate our run game.
Yep.
Keep time of possession on our side. November is a running time to run the ball. Notoriously, that's what you want to be able to do because that gets you to the next game. So. Yeah, I think our offense against our defense. I think that we're pretty good because like last game we're like, whoa, what would what's gonna happen here, So
yeah, if we just capitalize early, knock them off balance, we could walk away.
We could walk away with a big. See, people are really saying like the matchup that Penn State has better players than us. Penn State should beat us, but knock on wood, I think that we should do well against them. But we'll have to come out and play really well. And play hard. I'm trying to find something here I wanted to look at, but I'm not being able to find it. I was watching a film, and Penn State does do, like I said, their linemen out in the wide receiver spots to do quick screens. They're really good at running the ball inside. our defense is going to have to play really well up front, which we have all year. Some of our injuries that we have currently is going to be huge. Hopefully, we can get a game plan together to conquer that. And one funny thing that I know for a fact is Penn State was trying to get Bryant Haynes to go there really bad last year. You know, they have a really good coaching staff still. I you know, I don't know if they can get it going. You know, Jim Knowles is he's a really good defensive coordinator. He has the ability to build an elite defense and change up his schemes, and blitz is coming from everywhere. So he has a lot of blitz heavy screens. You know, one thing I really want Indiana to do in this game is I think it's important that we use all three running backs and we run the ball a lot against them, and then RPO out of it, play action pass out of it. Who do you think is going to be our player in this game that has a big game? Last week we were right again. So maybe let's try to do it again this week.
So with what I've seen with Penn State, they have some problems up in the front line. I think Black is going to have a good game.
Boy, our second level blocking has been amazing this year. It's the first time in a long time that I've seen our linemen go and actually get to the second and sometimes third level in blocking, which is awesome. And the wide receivers are blocking well too. And that's huge when you need to run the balls. The wide receivers are blocking really well. The linemen are getting to the second level. Tight ends are blocking well. I love it. I love to see that brand of football. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to old school. I'm going to knock the crap out of you. I'm going to knock you in the nose and keep coming.
Yeah. I think Black's going to have a good game. Hemby's going to have a good game. I think those are my two key players right now. I think that hopefully, from what I'm seeing, it's not looking too good for our wide receiver, Surratt. He might come in. He might not.
Yeah. Becker's come in and played well though when he had to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I said I was going to follow more on this, people. I'm sorry. I've been really busy. I've been redoing my car engine on my time, so been a little bit. But I'm looking at here. Aiden Fisher and both Elijah Surratt are both optimistic, so they might play, they might not. So we might still have a chance for them to show up. I still have high hopes for Aiden Fisher to come in.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think Surratt, the way he's built, he's gonna try to get out there. We'll see if Coach yells at him before he tries to sneak his way in.
So defensively, what does Penn State run? Is it a 5-2, I think?
It's a 4-2-5. It's nickel base.
Oh, okay. I was looking at a film. I just for some reason I blanked.
Yeah, they use a lot of different schemes. I seen them play a 4-3 against Ohio State.
Yeah. They have really good linebackers.
They do.
And a good safety.
They do. So we just
linebacker you. Mm-hmm. Penn State has always been notorious for having great linebackers.
Yeah, always.
Always.
I think they're gonna run the 4-2-5 against us, just based on how good our wide receivers are. Their linebackers, like I said, they have two really good linebackers, so they're gonna try, to set up something in a scheme against us and try to hide it.
Because last year, Jim Knowles, that he was the coordinator for Ohio State last year.
Right.
So Jim Knowles is the one that kind of, after Michigan game, he kind of saw, whoa, I see a weakness now.
Yeah.
And we have Drew Evans again this year.
Yeah.
Being out. But I really like that we moved our second string tackle into the position of guard, and he's done really well. Him and Kuntz have really worked well together in blocking schemes, and that's going to be key in this game, is being able to get our running game going with the front, the big boys up front. Benson, I haven't heard anything about him. I think he's okay. That's going to determine a lot on how we play on offensive line. He's a huge factor physically, a huge factor. Benson's a big boy. So I really interested to see about that. I think that he's okay. He's kind of he's one of those. I hate to say this, but he's like a prima donna sometimes. You know what I mean? He's like dramatic.
Yeah.
But I think he's okay. I think he's going to play. I think that our offensive line will do well against their defense. Like I said, though, we have to establish the running game and then go and hopefully get some passes in. If Surratt doesn't play, next man up, we have a lot of players that can fit in there. Our depth this year is really good, except for right now the linebacker position worries me. But other than that, our depth is really good.
Yeah, definitely. We looking at it, there's Benson looks like he's clear to play. I think he's tweaked his ankle a little bit. They taped it up and he's ready to go.
Good.
So I'm looking at this Elijah Surratt injury stats still being updated. Then injury stats still being updated with Aiden. So I'm sure that maybe that question will be popped today.
Tonight at the coach's show.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see on that. But some defense versus offense, Penn State being on the offensive side of the ball. We're gonna have to definitely keep a watch on that. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if the first quarter we do how we did with UCLA and see what they're going up on.
What their game plan is.
Yeah, and then strategize from there. Coach and sticky notes.
Yeah.
And figuring it out, moving stuff around. I wouldn't be shocked, but if we have Fisher back, making those play calls again, or just being out there in general, which would be beautiful. I say we could hold them up pretty well in the trenches.
So you think that they're going to be more of wanting to run the ball against us?
I think they're going to try to pass the ball.
Oh, okay.
I think they're going to try to pass the ball more against us. So a lot of RPOs, some screens, some deep balls.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to try to test pawns.
They're going to go after pawns, you think?
I think so.
Okay. let them do it.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to test them. Who's our strong safety out there?
Moore. Yeah, and Farrell.
Moore and Farrell are definitely going to have to be up on the game. Like what I'm basically breaking it down as is that they're going to try to get any yards they can.
Yeah.
They're going to be throwing some very uncertain stuff. It's like I said,
a lot of junk.
Yeah, a lot of junk. So I think, our mind has to be at, okay, this is going to be a game where we have to, post it down because, again, in the CFP playoff, rankings, I truly tell you this right now. I did not think we were going to be that high up. I have faith for Indiana, but I didn't think we were going to be number 2.
Right.
I was like,
I really thought that. I didn't think that we'd be this high up. With the beginning of the season, I even was saying 9-3, and then switched to 10-2. You went to 10-2. After start to have this start is just,
I was just laughing because I had 2 of my friends at the house and we were talking about it, and another one on the phone actually, and we were all sitting there watching this, play out. And I was like, I don't know. I think we're going to be number 3 or number 4.
yeah.
And then I see Indiana Hoosiers at number 2, and I was like, whoa. Oh, man. That's huge. But that's another thing we need to capitalize on. Okay? Because now they're watching. Now they're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching how we're going to play against this team. So we need to come out rough and rowdy.
Right.
This is where it's going to be. Yeah, we definitely, because we have number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Indiana, number 3 Texas A&M. Here's the problem I see though.
What's that?
Is that if we don't play good on Saturday, Texas A&M is going to move to number 2, and we're going to move back. And what about our bye week? Do you think that's going to affect anything?
No, I don't think so. I mean, this game for us is an important game, a very important game for us. 1, we're on the road, and 2, they're nationally. Penn State's still Penn State on their helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they haven't had a great season. They still have a ton of talent there, and the offensive coordinator. I even watched him at Andy. I don't know how to say his name. Is Kalnicki or something like that. But I even watched him when he was offensive coordinator at Buffalo University. Buffalo College, the Buffalo Bulls.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been following him as offensive coordinator for a while. He had some time at Kansas, did really well. But when he gets and he did a lot of those plays too. When he was at Buffalo, he would run those weird formations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a pretty good quarterback at Buffalo that played really well. Actually, I think he's better than the quarterbacks in right now. But so this year, though, I don't know. He's just been doing a lot of formations that are just kind of just weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe because I'm a traditionalist, you know what I mean? But he does a lot of formations that are different,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to have to watch out for that.
Yeah. It's gonna be another one of those games where, okay, what are we walking into?
Right.
And with that offensive coordinator and the coach and all them, they've been watching us for a while.
Yeah.
Just like they did with Ohio State, they're gonna be, sorry for cussing, Dad. They're gonna be pissed off because they lost to Ohio State.
They are gonna be. I agree with you, 100%.
You have a chance to go after number 1. You didn't beat number 1, so what do? You go for the little brother, number 2, and you come out rowdy at your home. They'll play against number 2 Indiana.
Right.
So you just got to think about that for a minute. And also, all these people saying what's their win streak against us? 28-2.
I don't remember that. I don't know that stat.
I don't know either, but
I know one thing though. In the past, even, I mean, you go back the last 30 years I've been watching Penn State football because they were in the Big Ten East with us. And watching Penn State football in the past, we always, every year, played them hard and played them well. I think that the last time we beat them was Penix.
Yeah, it's when Penix ran in to the 1 yard line and got the goalpost.
Yeah, that's right. The stretch play.
Yeah, we were there for that game. Yeah, we were there for that. We watched all the way until overtime.
Yeah,
and I was little.
Yeah.
When was that? Had to been like what, 2015?
2013. I think.
2013.
I think it was 2013. I'm not positive. I have to look it up, but I'm not going to right now. I think it was 2013. But yeah, defensively, they, the tackle leader is the safety, Zach Wheatley. I total for loss, Amar Campbell. He's a linebacker. Most of their sacks come in actually from the sorry, I'm having a
Yeah, so we did win Saturday, October 5th, 2013, and that was the stretch.
That was a stretch play. Yeah, I remember that.
Which we stayed for that game, and you see Penix running, and we're like, oh no. Stretch made that.
Yeah.
Even as a Hoosier fan, that could have been called both ways.
Right.
As I'm older now and understood, back then I was like, yeah, we won that.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like that. Could have been called both ways. So yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, the sack leader is our Amar Campbell. He has two. Amari Campbell. Should be Amari. 2 sacks. Dennis Sutton, defensive end, 2 sacks. Tony Reyes Rojas, the linebacker, 2 sacks. Zane Durant, 2 sacks. He's a defensive tackle, defensive end. Zariah Fisher, 2 sacks. So, they got a lot of players that can make plays. Like we said in the past, they have a lot of 5-star players and 4-star players behind them and 4-star players behind them and 3-star players.
Yeah.
The whole roster is, honestly, on paper, is better than our roster.
Yeah.
But I love the grit that our players have, the chip on the shoulder. I really love that how we play that.
And that's one of those things, even from from outsiders that are just lounging and looking at Indiana. If they can understand the grit, determination, and saying, "Hey, we don't have stars on us, and we're ranked number 2 in the country."
Yeah.
And you guys see how we play.
Yeah.
That wins up a lot of real college football fans. Like, wow, Indiana has these players.
Very well coached.
Really determined. And this is just me. I don't go by stars. Coach really made me open my eyes up about it. If you have the determination, the blood, sweat, and tears, and you can achieve anything.
Production over potential.
Exactly. And that's what we got.
Yeah.
And that's what we got.
We have a bunch of players. Just look at Elijah Surratt. That's another thing that's really been taking me off lately. They're still saying about the JMU players that transferred over. There was 13 players on the whole team that transferred from JMU, and only 11 of them last year were starters. This year is 3 or 4.
Right.
He didn't. Man, he had a lot of talent come in from a lot of different places that started. He had talent that was still here after Coach Allen left.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball, he had a lot of talent that was still here for Coach Allen. But I'm getting off tangent there, but yeah, being second in the nation now, I want to get into the college football playoff the first round on that Tuesday night. We haven't had a chance to talk about that yet, Chase. What did you think about the selection show?
Man, that was something interesting. It made me happy and almost made me feel like that they're listening in on our podcast here.
Yeah, that was funny because some of the things that we're talking about
was the same thing that they were talking about. They're saying, "Wow, they put Indiana at number 2." I don't know. I thought they had a better, season so far than Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was what I was saying. That was the whole rant I had on Tuesday. And I was like, I agree with what they are saying, and I'm glad that they notice. Even the guy who's also at the league commissioner even said it himself, but they said it was very hard to choose.
Right.
It was very hard to choose. And let's say this. I am proud of the Big Ten. Right now I see 1, 2, well, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got Ohio State, Indiana.
Well, yeah.
Right. It's the college football playoff top 25 is what I'm looking at.
Right.
The selection committee rankings.
Right.
All right. I'm not just looking at the 4. I'm looking at all.
All of them.
Okay. Because I'm giving credit where credit's due. We got Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Iowa, USC, Washington.
And another thing is that you have to put Michigan in that picture. You really do, because the way the season's going, Michigan holds their own destiny right now.
Mm-hmm.
They might make it into the Big Ten championship.
Like,
if they win out and beat Ohio State.
And Michigan, any Michigan fans or any Michigan, and it somehow reaches you, beat the piss out of them.
Yeah,
who said that?
I would love nothing more than that.
I'm saying this because the way this adds up could shake this whole playoff.
Yeah.
This could shake the whole playoff. And I loved how everything was matched up because I said it too. I said we're either going to get Notre Dame and BYU for the first selection. Whenever they were breaking it down, and they had the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, we're going to get one of the two. And what if Indiana, just the state of Indiana, would love to have another rerun with Notre Dame?
Yeah, that could happen with the way they had it set up.
Another rerun with Notre Dame. Now, I love I'm saying it, and, people can banter me for this all they want. Big brother versus little brother. Again. I'm only saying big brother now because you guys won fair and square at your guys' home.
Right.
Fair and square. You guys outperformed us. You got us shook. But take a look at this. If this happens, I wish the best for both teams. But just so happens to be if BYU, makes it near us, I would like that game more. I'm a man of loving equal football games because that just makes everything so much better for college football.
So much more exciting.
I love it. And I think the better matchup, although people will say, Chase, why are you saying Notre Dame and Indiana wouldn't be a second run against them? Wouldn't be a good matchup? It would be, guys.
It would be a good matchup.
It would be a great matchup again. But I want to see Indiana play someone new. And guess what? We get that bye week, so we get to study.
Right. One fun fact, if you look at last year, the top 4 seeds all lost.
Mm-hmm.
The top 4 seeds last year in the college football playoff all lost.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, was like, whoa.
And hey,
whoa.
And I heard this, okay? Ohio State is still all fired up of a poll that didn't really mean anything. Last year was a test year. This year's when it counts.
Right.
Ohio State, props for going to the national championship, but last year didn't count. It didn't count. You got the national champion trophy, but for the playoff, it was a tester. Okay? They tested this out and see how it would look, and the views went amazing, so they brought it back. If it wasn't good and people didn't like it, right, they wouldn't have had it again.
Right?
What?
I was just looking at something outside. But that's okay.
But anyhow, Ohio State goes to Michigan, the big house,
Right?
and theoretically they lose. You know how much that's going to shake this playoff? There's going to be an earthquake. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of big games this weekend. There really is a lot of games that are going to mean something for the playoffs. One thing I've been harping on for several years now is even though Notre Dame plays a lot of ACC teams, they got to get into a division because they don't play in a conference championship. So they don't hold as much weight as they once did, honestly. And they come in at 10th with a 2-loss record. You know, I don't know. I'm just rambling there. But in the Big Ten anyway, you know, you have Indiana 6-0, Ohio State 10-0, or 5-0. And this is just a conference, right? They're 9-0 for Indiana, 8-0 for Ohio State. In the conference, Michigan is 5-1 and 7-2. Iowa's 4-1 and 6-2. That game this weekend, Oregon
It's gonna be
in Iowa.
Said it last week. It's gonna be
a
bloodbath. It's gonna be a brutal game.
It's gonna be a brutal, tough, hard-nosed game. But yeah, I just like I said, this weekend it's gonna be a crazy weekend for games, and it's gonna determine that a lot of things for the playoffs. You know, some really big games in the SEC, and Navy versus Notre Dame. I think is going to be a very good game. I think that people shouldn't know. It's going to be a big game, and Ole Miss and the Citadel. What in the hell is that? Because I said that loud. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah.
Georgia, Mississippi State is I put on an upset alert. I think that Mississippi State might beat them. I really do. BYU and Texas Tech playing.
Another great game.
Another great game. I really like to see what BYU, how they handle this game, because the Texas Tech's a whole different breed of football, and they haven't played that yet. Really, honestly, So.
Sorry, I'm yawning, guys. It's been a long night.
Yeah.
So wow. Tulane and Memphis playing tomorrow at 9:00. Number 22 ranked Memphis. Yeah, it's gonna be
This will be an interesting weekend.
Yeah.
Friday night's game is going to be interesting, I think. That's going to be a big game.
Who's playing again? Oh, yeah, Northwestern USC.
There you go.
That's going to be a good one.
That's going to be a good game. Northwestern has been playing quite well.
Yeah, they have.
And another thing, this is the tangent again. I do that sometimes. I'm thinking Fitzgerald, since he got found not guilty or won his case against Northwestern for the wrongful termination, he's my front runner for Penn State job.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If not that, Iowa. He might be retiring.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Vince is a good ball coach.
Yeah,
he really is a great ball coach. What he's done with the teams that he has, the talent that he has, he's done a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really surprising to me where he ends up, because there's a lot of big coaching openings right now in big time programs. It'd be interesting to see if he does do that. If he wants to stay in the Big Ten, or does he want to go some SEC, or does he want to go whatever? But yeah,
I don't know. That's a good one. That one kind of shook me up a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, you are.
I'm good at shaking you up.
Yeah. You're my father. What else? What you do? Let's see. Yeah, the college football playoff. A lot of good games coming up. We have. I personally say that BYU and Texas Tech game is going to be big. That's going to move around some stuff. For the Ole Miss game, that's going to shake some stuff up. They have Ole Miss ranked 6th in the top 25. I think that if BYU or Texas Tech wins out their game, that might move around a little bit for the selection committee.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some good games on the Big Ten side, that we see. What's BYU and Texas Tech again? They're ACC?
Big 12.
Oh, Big 12?
I'm pretty sure.
So the Big 12, we might see a matchup again for their conference championship game.
Yeah.
Which I always find very funny. So yeah, we got number 3 Texas A&M, number 19 Mizzou. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that is that's gonna be a very good game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is gonna be a good game. They pretty much offset each other and stuff that they both lack, and so this one's gonna be another big grunge, match. Yeah, this weekend is going to be an interesting weekend. It's going to be a lot of flipping through channels and seeing what's going on.
Yeah, it really is. I'm really excited for this weekend. There's going to coming on Tuesday. There's going to be a lot. Next Tuesday, there's going to be I think a lot of movement again. The first couple don't really matter until we get into the conference championship games. That's when a lot of things are going to be set up. We'll have to see. Last week, of course, Alabama and Texas A&M are on byes last week, off weeks. So them playing this weekend will change things up there too, as far as 1 through 5 for the ranking wise. We just have to. Indiana has to come out and have a big game, because
we're gonna have to.
The SEC wants nothing better than to
nag at us
and say we don't belong there, and Texas A&M is the team that should be the one there. So
yeah, so I want to see. It's going to be a really good matchup, for me to believe, but this is another thing that I've always said, you can't really judge a book by their cover just because, they're playing the teams that they're used to be playing versus a team that they're not really good. For instance, you guys Alabama won by a hair against Georgia, 24-21. I don't know. I truly think because they're playing Oklahoma Saturday, November 15th at 3:30. That one might be an upset.
Who's that? Where?
Alabama and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's ranked number 11.
That's the following
Yeah.
weekend after this one. Well, I mean, Alabama's playing LSU, even though they lost their coach there. They're still a good team. I mean, that might be a good game too to watch.
What do they got? I don't know. Seeing some of these games that LSU has played against previous teams, it doesn't look like that. Doesn't look too hot for them. One game that they could have capitalized on early could have been Vanderbilt.
Virginia and Wake Forest would be a good game.
Yeah, that one would be a real good game.
Then you have Vanderbilt and Auburn.
Yeah. Vanderbilt and Auburn, I'd definitely take a good watch at that one. Virginia being ranked number 14th in the country, that one's going to be a fun one.
Right.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun games coming up for sure.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Not this week, but the following week after that, because there's some really good games that week too. Then we get into the final games of the season as far as the regular season goes, and I'm really curious on how we do for the last 3 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Penn State's to be a big one, and then we're at home against Wisconsin, and Wisconsin hasn't had a very good year at all, but they'll bring it.
Yeah.
And then Purdue and Indiana has always been a big rivalry game. I mean, it doesn't matter, records get thrown out. It's just one of those hard-hitting games. We've had a lot of hard-hitting games this year.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely. This year, just for Indiana let alone, I got a little scared for that CFB, committee, because we played Illinois and Oregon, and they said our biggest wins was Oregon and Iowa, and I somewhat agree. I think Illinois should be in the mix of that too. But this year alone, it has been a very hard-hitting season for Indiana. And for a lot of the Big Ten, matchups were very, very good this year. Not so much for Ohio State, but you guys know how I feel about that.
Right.
But yeah, I think this weekend, next weekend, and the weekend after that, and the weekend after that, and guess what I'm going to say after that? And the weekend after that is going to be a very interesting, month. It's going to be a very interesting month. You guys know how I am. I hate sitting at home watching over TV. I wish I could fly over to Penn State right now, go watch this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back. The boys to get back in town and pack the rock and
one last hurrah. Unless something happens in the playoffs that we're there.
Yeah, I'm very. After this game, I think we can stop being nervous. But this one right here, we need to come up, play hard, fast. We have to be able to understand what we're walking into. This game's going to be another, pedal to the metal, no letdown until the fourth quarter, 0-0-0. I can't wait. I can't wait for this weekend.
Yeah.
At noon.
Yeah, Penn, there's going to be the Penn State quarterback. Ethan Grunkemeyer, Amelia Good, Drew Aller, and of course Fernando Mendoza,
Mm-hmm.
the Heisman Mendoza. I mean, this is going to be a really big game for him as far as the Heisman thing goes, because you have Ty Simpson going up right now, and then Ohio State's quarterback
Saying. Yeah.
And then you have their offensive line. They've got some really good offensive linemen at Penn State. Of course, we have some really good offensive linemen too. So
yeah, a lot of our boys that they stepped up very well, and I think this matchup is going to be a really fun matchup.
Yeah,
I think that this one is, we're going to bring it.
Yeah, their DBs. They have a good DB room. AJ Harris and Zach Wheatley are really good DBs, and of course we have Angelo Pons, Shamari.
Yeah, Coop.
Sharp.
Oh, Sharp. Sorry,
Sharp and Boykin.
Sharp. I said Sharp.
Yeah.
It was funny. I don't know if he heard, but they absolutely murdered your last name.
Yeah.
They murdered your last name that last game, and I'm so sorry, bro, but I laughed. I laughed very hard. Man, those announcers last week. I want to get this off my chest, man. They were. you get a thumbs down.
Thumbs down on that one, huh?
Like, I like that. I like the announcers. All the Big Ten announcers are great. Just an announcer in general. I love that they paid respect to Don Fisher.
Right.
Excited to hear from him tonight.
I wonder what he's gonna ask Coach.
Oh man. Oh man. There's like a lot of answers that I wish Coach would answer,
but he can't.
Well, there's a lot of questions I wish Coach was answered, but he can't.
Yeah.
Well, there's a can't and he won't.
And he won't.
Most of the time we can tell.
I wonder who the co-host is going to be this week. What coordinator is going to come in? Ola Adams was last week.
I'm really wanting to push for the strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
I really want to push for him.
What he does, he's been amazing. People don't realize how important that position is.
Yeah.
And how he's transformed these young men.
Mm-hmm.
And not only physically, mentally,
yep,
athletically.
Yeah.
Physically being like weight room,
mm-hmm.
Mentally, the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they didn't have the stretches that you do to not have injuries.
Yeah.
He really had, him and his staff have done a really good job in that room.
Yeah. The reason why I say that though is because I texted him. And he's a good guy. He does a lot of strength and conditioning on his own. He doesn't ever put any of the guys on, but I want to hear from him what he does, mentally for these guys, what he thinks personally about, what they do on a day-to-day basis to get these boys ready for a game like this. It's going to be 55, cloudy with 10-mile-per-hour winds at a very loud stadium.
Yeah.
And strength is also with your mind too.
Right.
How do you get these boys mentally prepared, physically prepared, and to get them ready? And what kind of stretches are you going to have, our guys do to be ready for this game?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like we said last week, when it gets cold, it's a little nipply outside, okay? Like Pennsylvania is different from down here, y'all. If y'all ain't been on that side of the country, you should go. It's absolutely beautiful. Stay out of the winter. Okay? Yeah. This is only a rough estimate. I've seen sunshine and 60-something degrees in New York and Erie, Pennsylvania. And, I've seen Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's been beautiful. But you wake up that next day, you get dumped on.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they're supposed to have snow coming into the Northeast here.
Man, stop. I'm about to throw my hat across this room. Don't you ever say that 4-letter cuss word again.
They are. They are. Erie, Pennsylvania is supposed to be getting snow coming up here soon.
40% chance here.
Northern. What?
On Monday.
No.
Yep.
This week?
Mm-hmm.
No.
On Monday, 40% chance.
Oh, God.
It's still low. Okay?
Snow?
Yeah, stop saying that word. God, you're cussing, man. You told me not to cuss. You said the worst cuss word of them all.
I spent most of my young life playing hockey.
I'm a Hoosier, Dave. I hate snow. God.
Clean up a lot of pounds in my day in the snow.
Man, I'm not built
but
for that.
anyway, we're getting off tangent here. I'm just really, my keys to this game, is IU getting a running game going offensively, play action pass, and trying to hopefully get some deep routes open. Okay, with EJ Williams is going to be big for this game, I believe. Again, it's going to be a big game for him. I think that Charlie Becker's going to have a good game because of the matchup wise.
Yeah,
I think that he can come in and have good matchups too because of his speed.
I know what I want to see out of Becker. I want to see 5 yards, post, right? Slam. I want to see him go up 5 yards, cut back, get the cornerback to react, and go.
And take off again.
Go. I don't care if I'm gonna call your name is no longer Charlie. It is now gonna be Forrest. Okay.
Run, Forrest, run.
Like there's these things that I see, and a lot of people don't see it mentally. In a football game. I'm watching what Penn State does.
Right.
Right.
They react fast.
They react fast.
Yeah.
Too fast.
Do too. They
you
jump
get
on
them,
routes.
and they get a bite on you. Right. You either have 2 options. You tuck that ball and pray for the best.
Stop and go.
Or you tuck that ball, pat the baby 3 times, and Bama knows what I'm talking about, and you run. You don't stop until you see that cool little orange post thing right there. You don't stop. Hell, even run past the thing if you want to. But that's what I'm saying, though. They bite too quick.
They do bite quick.
The linebackers do the same, too. That's going to be great for the RPO.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give up all my little things here that I've seen.
Right. And defensively, we're going to have to stop the run and stop the pass on the wide receivers.
Singleton and Allen. I'm telling and I'm warning now for whomever has a fake profile and watching this. They will make us pay. We got to watch them.
Right.
Their wide receivers will go up for the ball too. So a little assistance on Pond's side, being a little bit of a shorter dude, which still has a hell of a leap. He can jump.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that capitalizing in the trenches first, making that run stop, get that quarterback feeling wheezy and uncomfortable, he's gonna make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
Yeah, happy feet.
That's what happened with the Ohio State game.
Yeah,
they made him feel uneasy.
Yeah, he started getting out of the pocket and having to throw and run. He's not very good at that.
No.
But okay, and so defensively, I think that will have to, like I said, special teams are going to be important in this game, I believe.
Yes.
So I think that special teams will have to really play well special teams wise, because this game very might well come down to special teams.
Yep.
I mean, I really think that people are underestimating Penn State. They really are. Nationally, even. Penn State still has the players.
Yeah.
They still have them there. And they get a wild hair up their butt, they're gonna
do it.
They're gonna play well.
Yeah,
they played really well the first 2 quarters against Ohio State, then kind of dropped. There was 2 separate teams that were playing there.
They got tired.
You got tired, yeah.
And that's something that Ohio State did really well.
Yeah.
They tired them out.
Tired them out.
Okay, you're tired now. Then they came out to play.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for joining. I'm going to cut this off now. We've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. God bless. Let's go Hoosiers. Let's beat Penn State and get another win. But uh, I'm having mechanical problems again. But yeah, everybody have a good day.